My neighbor's security camera caught my husband sneaking out at 3 a.m. I wasn't prepared for the truth. I never thought I'd be the wife checking security footage to track my husband's movements, but when Sarah from next door texted me, "Is everything okay with you guys?" with a video attachment, my world tilted sideways. The grainy nighttime footage showed my husband Mark sneaking out of our house at 3:17 a.m., carrying something bulky wrapped in a blanket. He looked over his shoulder nervously before disappearing down the street. My first thought was the obvious one: an affair, a secret family. But that didn't explain the blanket-wrapped bundle or why Sarah seemed concerned rather than scandalized. "He's been doing this 3 times a week for the past month," her text continued. "Oins between 3-4 a.m. Mark and I had been married for 8 years. Solid, stable, boring, even he sold insurance. I taught 3rd grade. We were trying for a baby. Nothing in our life suggested midnight escapades. I could have confronted him immediately, but something held me back. Instead, I pretended everything was normal while setting my alarm for 2:45 a.m. That night, I lay awake beside him watching the minutes tick by. At 3:05, he carefully slid out of bed thinking I was asleep. I heard him moving around downstairs, then the soft click of our back door. I followed him, staying a block behind. I tracked him through our sleeping neighborhood to the downtown area. He turned down an alley behind the old movie theater now abandoned during COVID. I hesitated at the entrance, heart pounding. What I saw made no sense at first. Mark had spread a blanket on the ground. Rather him were at least a dozen people, some clearly homeless, others just down on their luck. He was handing out sandwiches from his backpack along with what looked like toiletry kits. An older man with a gray beard hugged Mark. A teenage girl accepted a sandwich with shaking hands. A woman with a small child took what appeared to be children's books and a stuffed animal. I stood frozen in the shadows watching my husband run what looked like a one-man relief operation. When a police car cruised by slowly, everyone tensed. Mark quickly helped people gather their things and disappeared deeper into the alley. He seemed practiced at this Enchiro, keeping lookout, creating diversions when needed. I waited until he packed up before stepping into the light. Mark. He dropped his backpack, eyes wide with shock. "Emma, what are you, Euro? How did you Euro Sarah's security camera?" I said simply. "Why didn't you tell me?" His shoulders slumped. "I didn't want to worry you. The city's been cracking down on homeless encampments, and what I am doing isn't exactly legal. Back home over 4 a.m. coffee," he explained everything. During the pandemic, he'd been delivering insurance paperwork to a client who lived downtown. He'd encountered a homeless man having a seizure and called 911. The ambulance took 45 minutes to arrive. "They told me they don't prioritize calls about the homeless," Mark said, voice breaking. "The man could have died waiting." After that, Mark started bringing supplies downtown 3 nights a week. Food, hygiene products, children's books, warm socks, things our neighbors donated to Goodwill without thinking twice. "Why the middle of the night?" I asked. "Police patrols are lighter then, and people are vulnerable when they sleep. They get robbed, assaulted. Having someone check on them helps. But why keep it from me?" He looked down. "My brother was homeless for 3 years before he died. You know he had addiction issues, but I never told you he was living on the streets. I was ashamed I couldn't save him." Tears filled my eyes. In 8 years of marriage, he'd never shared this. "I couldn't help him," Mark continued, "but I can help these people. I just didn't want you to think less of me for not being able to save my own brother." The next night, I packed twice as many sandwiches and joined him. Now we go together 3 nights a week. We've connected our night friends with social services, helped 2 people find housing, and enrolled that teenage girl in online classes. Sarah's security camera still catches us sneaking out at 3 a.m., but now she joins us, sometimes bringing hot coffee and homemade cookies. The most surprising secrets aren't always the ones you fear. Sometimes they're the ones that show you who you really married, Euro, and remind you why.